Hello, this is Tea in a Bar by Tia Blackchart. Chapter 11. What keeps you tethered to the ground? Summary. Aizawa learns a little bit more, and Midoriya tries to keep drifting away. Warnings. Description of shutting down / dissociation. In the bar, Shigaraki watched as Toga begged to make her a cup of tea so she can try out the idea that Midoriya had suggested. Kirigiri was less than excited the at the prospect of watching the girl pour blood into his tea and thus into his precious teacups that he would prefer to be held by a green-haired freckled boy that looked so peaceful when he held them. That Im- that image did not that image was not something he wanted to be tainted by Toga, no matter how much she pleaded. If he was going to give her tea, she was simply she would simply have to drink it out of a shot glass. Midoriya's number. Kirigiri's teacups were only for Midoriya and Kirigiri himself. Magne took a seat next to Shigaraki, and they both watched as Toga started throwing knives and tried to stab Kirigiri, the whole time asking him to make her tea while Kirigiri avoided the blades. Twice on Twice was on the sideline saying things along the lines of "Please stop" and "Stab the Misty Man, stab." How do you think the little guy is doing right now? Magne asked. Shiragi thought how the hero student would be at school at the moment, would still be at school at the moment, how he is surrounded by heroes and students who were trying to be heroes. When they had let Midoriya go, they could see the light in the boy's eyes disappear. They had heard his less than ecstatic reasonings why he had to go back. He had to go. They remembered how Midoriya had a panic and tried to run when he ranted about Endeavor. They remembered how tired Midoriya was when he arrived and how tired he still looked when he left. An uncomfortable sensation settled upon Shigaraki, and he felt the need to scratch his neck again. I don't know. I hope he's doing well at AUA, Compress said at the spot of his couch. He had let me show him my he even let me show him my beautiful mask, and it was quite respectful, unlike you heathens. Mr. Compress' comment was ignored, and and an ancient and 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 an ancient anxious silence settled upon them. His He's at UA. He should be fine, right? Spinner asked, clearly sounding unsure. No one gave Spinner an answer. Everything everything about Midoriya screamed not fine. Everyone in the bar knew it. Aizawa-san, could you please let go of my arm? All Might asked, eyeing the capture weapon of Aizawa had yet to release. Why? So you can go and cause more damage to my students. Why? All while without even realizing it. Aizawa said. Damage? Midoriya was fine. I do fine. Is that is a boy who looked like he was about to pass out. Fine is pitting him against Bakugo, who you know always takes it too far with Midoriya. Fine. The underground hero seethed as Midoriya, as All Might. Oh my God, mixing people up here. As All Might tried to ineffectively calm down Shota, Rigoro turned to Nezu, and Mammals seemed to be completely fine watching the number one hero get yelled at by um Shota. Recovery Girl's scowl continued to deepen. Aren't you going to do something? I don't see why I would. Nezu said to the nurse. Both All Might and Recovery Girl looked at him with shocked looks. But surely Aizawa is completely correct. And although would not resort to yelling in a capture scar, I feel that Aizawa is doing a great job of pointing out the issue here. The issue being, oh, Nezu chirped, Yagi's ineffectively teaching that has endangered the students of my school. Nezu's smile did not even disappear at All Might's uh, as All Might coughed up blood, and Aizawa pulled back his capture weapon in disgust. All Might? Nezu addressed the man. I know that the Hero Commission wants me to keep you here teaching at UA, but I will have to make some changes in order to prevent an incident like this from happening again. I know it's important for you to teach, but I know you will agree to these changes in order to continue. Shota was pleased to see that Nezu didn't let All Might speak when he told them the changes that would have to be made. Every time All Might tried to interrupt, he was shut down with ease by the rat. There was some satisfaction seeing the number one hero's face fall as he learned that he would be unable to teach his class without another certified hero/teacher present. Shota was going to make sure he was the other teacher, that he was going to be the other teacher present in All Might's class. All Might decided about what he. All Might. All Might. Oh my God. Aizawa decided to ask what he saw earlier after Nezu finished explaining. Could you explain why my student was already aware that the number one hero does not look like some muscle blown up doll? Shota did not like how the hero seemed to squirm so much at the simple question. Clearly there was more. Ah, yes, you see, I met Midoriya before UA, after saving him from a villain attack. He happened to be right there when I ran out of time. Alright, that makes sense, but why does he look guilty? It was quite a surprise to him, but the boy was smart and he figured out that it was an injury, and when I showed him, wait, showed him? You showed a young teenager you just met your injury that caused you to have a time limit? Yagi looked at him with confused eyes. Yes, Aizawa said. But don't worry, we were on the rooftop, so no one else. Um, so there was no one else. Anyways, so after I left, the Shota's eye twitched. The number one hero, All Might, told his student most imp- his most important weakness to the boy after a villain attack. Instead of taking Midoriya to a hospital, because there was no way that Midoriya had not gotten injured, they ended up they they someone in they someone ended up on a they somehow ended they put someone instead of somehow they somehow ended up on a goddamn roof, and Midoriya saw All Might poof into a coughing a blood coughing skeleton. Midoriya, after possibly almost getting killed by a villain, was shown injury sustained by the number one hero, and then sound the sounds of it, he was left on a roof by himself. All Might, All Might, Shota said in a stone cold voice that made the hero flinch. I am going to leave before I do something I regret. But no, I will have a long discussion with you, and you will listen what I have to say. Then, then Shota left. After he, after he would possibly injured, Shota left before he would possibly injure the number one hero. It was nice to see that when he returned to class, it was still intact, although he did raise an eyebrow when he looked at Bakugo. The boy was scowling, but silent in his chair. Shota could see Shota could see purple balls. I was keeping Bakugo there, along with the balls that made sure the chair wouldn't move from the floor anytime soon. Kirishima was in Midoriya's seat. Speaking of Midoriya, Shota had seen the green head of hair sitting on resting on Kirishima's desk. He was glad that Midoriya was able to get a seat away from Bakugo, but it was concerning to see a now a blank face looking at Dark Shadow. As Midoriya petted his head, when Aizawa looked over to Tokoyami, the boy didn't look bothered by his quirk companion not being with him. Seeing that it wasn't exactly an issue, Aizawa let them be. When the students were all leaving, he asked Midori to stay behind. He ignored the fact that some students who stayed outside of the door. Midoriya, I just wanted to let you know you don't have to worry about All Might. He was scolded by Nezu and myself. He won't be able to put you in any more situations like that, because there's going to be another teacher around when he's teaching and doing exercises. Shotoka let out a sigh when the green eyes looked at him with no reaction. It was frustrating to see the visible change, from what happened in the infirmary. It looked like Midoriya had shut down when All Might and Recovery Girl arrived. Midoriya, you can tell me what you were going to say in the infirmary. I still want to know. I still care. It felt like something clenched his chest when he saw those dull eyes look at him, only for a few moments before before fighting to the window. It it looked it barely looked like a problem. It barely looked like problem child was there anymore. I'll tell you like later. I'll tell you later. That's what the student that's what the student Getting notifications and it's bothering me. That's that's what his student said instead. He could do nothing but watch Midoriya leave, 'cause he knew if he would push more, there was surely wouldn't be a later. Dark Shadow helped Izuku feel grounded. The warm and staticky feeling that came from petting the creature's head made made sure that he didn't forget that he was in the classroom with his classmates from UA from 1A. It reminded him that he was at UA, not anywhere else, just UA. The feeling of Dark Shadow occasionally nuzzling his cheek reminded him from drifting too far into unpleasant thoughts. But when he had to leave, he felt a fog on his mind. Settle on his mind. Everything had just been too much, and he could feel that he was shutting down. That's why he told Aizawa Sensei, later, I'll tell you later. Because he wasn't sure if the words would come out if he wanted to. He wanted to tell Aizawa Sensei, even if it was just the tiniest thing. He wanted to tell him because Aizawa Sensei had asked. He had cared. He left the classroom, barely noticed that a few of his classmates were waiting for him. It was Shoji and Kaminari that could explain that they explained how Tokiyami and Uraka wanted to be there, but they couldn't stay. When they when he didn't say anything to them, Kaminari was quick to simply smile at Izuku and push him against um against Soji. The masked boy brought up an arm wrapped around Izuku and held him close. They walked to the station in silence, although Kaminari made sure to talk about different topics. The words helped Izuku stay focused. That he was with two of his classmates. Soji's arms made sure he was actually moving. The two of them didn't let Izuku's slipped completely into his own mind, but eventually they had to part ways. Shoji had turned down a different road. He squeezed Izuku one more time before ruffling his hair. When Kaminari had to go, he kissed Midoriya on his forehead again. This time, Kaminari laughed at some static made that, that made. This time, Kaminari laughed at how some static made made Izuku's hair stand up, and he tried to pull it back down. Izuku didn't see the sad smile Kaminari had when he had to leave. Then he was alone again. The heaviness that had been getting worse all day finally crashed down on him. He wished he could stay. He wished he had stayed longer with Shoji and Kaminari, but he couldn't. Instead, he made his way home and stepped into the place that made it hard to breathe. He felt so tired, dragged himself to the bed, ignored his hunger and assignments that have he could have he could have he could have been working on, only moving when he finally decided to change out of his uniform. Laying laying on his bed, he turned his head to look out the window. He watched the sky change colors and the light disappear. It wasn't until he had been looking at the dark sky for a few hours he eventually fell asleep, but anything but restful. His dreams, his dream that night were painted in red. Alright, that is the end of this recording. Um, I'm just so tired. I woke up like 2 hours ago and I'm still so tired. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this chapter of this fic. If I feel like it, I might do another one. Or I can take a nap. Who knows? I might do that nap. Go back to sleep. Like, I got tomorrow, Sunday, and then Monday. Then I have to go back to school on Tuesday. I'm not ready for this. I'm not mentally ready for this. But anyways, eat, drink, get some sleep, get a decent amount of sleep, and you're having to go to school on Monday. I feel bad for you. Because Monday is Monday. I don't like Monday either. So, alright. Bye. I hope y'all enjoyed.